I want to look a little more closely in this video at actually playing strings and how these different keyboard sections interact. Now I've got a preset called up here, and I'm in the chord riffs, and it's this one, and it's just a factory setting. I haven't changed anything. Now we have three different sections here. We have the style phrases over here, and we have the bass notes over here, and the play range over here. So the idea is that all the strings, when we're triggering these phrases, they play predefined parts. So every style preset is like a little composed phrase that locks the low and high string layers together. So this is where the rhythmic aspect of strings comes from these different styles that are called up initially with these presets. But of course, like I mentioned in the last video, we can customize them by changing the styles used. But for right now, I'm sticking with the factory style associated with this preset. So there's 6 phrases here on the white notes, plus 4 different additions, which are kind of like little accents. And then we have the B flat and B, which are special notes. The B flat will trigger an ending phrase to end off the rhythmic pattern, and stop, which is B natural, just stops it. So the way the style phrases work is that they're ordered by intensity from left to right. So the white keys play the actual phrases, and they're less complex, and the higher we get up, the more complex they are. And then these are kind of accents. So let me show you how this works. I'm going to hit an F in the play range, and it's going to trigger an F major chord. And here we're hearing the first style. Now I'll hit some of these accents or add effects. So you hear that extra plucked sound up high. Here's the E flat. So you can add it on to the actual phrase that's being played. The next one, triplet version. And here's the stop phrase. Let me try that again, and I'll trigger the next phrase while the first one's playing. So it's a little busier. And we can still add the same additions. Here's the next phrase. It's a little bit more rhythmically complex. Next one. Busier. So when you add these onto the busier phrases, you get a real full part. And there I hit the stop key to just stop it from playing. Now we have the bass note range, which controls the low string section, while the play range still plays the high strings. So I'm going to, again, hit that same F note, and I'll trigger some bass notes in this range to get some more complex voicings and even create some tensions and dissonance by using notes outside of the key. And we can get much more sophisticated kind of string phrases from that. And keep your eye on the chord detection here, and you'll see how it detects the chords based on the bass note with the chord being played. So here's F, F major. Use a simpler phrase. So there's F major with A in the bass, first inversion. There's a second inversion. There's with D in the bass. With G in the bass. But with D in the bass, gives it a nice tonal diatonic quality. To second inversion. Back to root position. So here with the C sharp, we're getting a kind of C sharp augmented voicing, which is a little more tension and dissonant. With the 7th in the bass, very dissonant sound. That F major triad with F sharp in the bass, but interesting. That's very dissonant with the flat third. Just kind of like a B flat now with an open voicing with no third. So you can see how there are lots of variations possible. Now let's talk about chord recognition. So far I've just been hitting one note and it triggers a major chord, but strings can recognize major, minor, sus2, sus4, dominant 7th, and diminished chords. Now I have a keyboard here so you can see all the notes I'm playing, but again with that F example, if I hit F and A flat, I'm getting an F minor. So I don't need to hit the whole triad, the whole F, A flat, C. I can just hit the root and the minor third. Now for a sus2 voicing, I'm going to hit the root, the second, and the fifth. And again, you'll see the chord detection here, detecting it as a sus chord, and you'll hear the difference in the way the phrase is played. And if I hit the root, fourth, and fifth, it'll give us a sus4. Now for dominant seventh, I don't need to hit the whole triad, or the whole four-note voicing. I can hit just the root and the flat seventh. So here's F and E flat. There it is, an octave lower. And for diminished, I can hit the root minor third and the flatted fifth. Now, when you combine these with bass notes, you're going to get another whole set of variations. For example, here's that F sus4 with a D in the bass, which is very unusual, with an E flat, with an F sharp, very interesting. You're getting the third and the sharp 11, an A flat, the B flat. It's more of a B flat tension with the root fifth and second. So lots of variations are possible using the bass note combinations with the different chord recognition. Now, some of the phrases in these styles only play roots and sometimes fifths, so not all of the chords will be recognized. So if it's a root and fifth type of phrase, playing a minor third isn't going to make it minor, but you'll come across that as you're going through the different styles. Now, we also have pitch bend and modulation, and these play a role in the performance aspect as well. The pitch bend wheel lets you crossfade between the low and high strings in real time. So let's say I'm going to hit F minor. We know we can crossfade like this. And I'm going to option click there to snap back, but I can use the pitch bend wheel as well. So where the pitch bend affects the crossfading, the modulation controller creates a decrescendo effect. So we can use it to get softer or louder passages. So I'm going to move the mod wheel on my keyboard and you'll see it represented here. And this time I'll hit that F minor chord, but I'll use latch mode so I don't need to keep holding it down. Softer. What's that, a bass note? Hit latch to stop it. So that's a way to get more of a dynamic performance by using these real-time controllers to shift the dynamics or the range. I'm going to end off here, and in the next video, we'll look at how to customize this and then save it as a new preset.